football pigskin something.
It was
Some animated thing or something. It was so cool on the radio.
what was that thing called? It wasn't Leonard's Losers.
Was it the pigskin pickle?
Yeah, and they'd have Keith Jackson on there. And he said, "Hold Nelly."
Yeah. It was awesome, man.
And then Frank Broyles and Will Keith. Yeah, I remember that. What was that thing called?
Man,
Southern Pickwick Football.
Pickwick.
That's what it was.
It was cool.
All right, y'all ready?
Yeah, ma'am. We rolling?
Yeah, we're going.
We are on the air. Welcome to SwarmCast number 5 for the 2024 season. It looks kind of empty in here. Bryan Davis has been announcing at the PA system for the softball team.
Yep.
And they just wrapped up. Softball lost to Lowndes County 5-1, and now they're having their senior night stuff. So Bryan will be joining us here in just a little while. And then, of course, got Jamie Maters down here. How you doing, Jamie?
I'm good. It's Rose City Rumble Week.
Yeah, Nightmare on Jackson Street,
Yeah,
War of the Roses.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready, man.
Yeah, I think everybody's about ready for it. And then the tech man himself back there behind the computer and behind the controls, Mr. Kasey Massey.
I'm here.
I will tell you guys, Coach Justin Rogers is going to be calling early tonight, so we're expecting him very quickly. This is going to be a fun night. Jamie and I are going to go back and share some of our favorite memories from the Thomasville Central game or the Central Thomasville game, depending on where you're looking at it from.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about last week's game against Florida High. We will talk about Thomasville and what we know about the Dogs. This has got historic stuff written all over it. The two teams, the last time they met when they've been ranked this high, Jamie, 1987.
Okay.
How about that?
I like it.
Yep.
I remember it very well.
I do too. And
before we get too far,
oh my gosh, thanks to Dairy Queen.
thanks to Dairy Queen and Greg Davis and the crew. And Greg, I couldn't do the frappe this week. That thing lit me up last week, so I had trouble going to sleep.
So what was the Jamie Maters Blizzard of the Week this week?
It is a chocolate silk pie.
Ooh.
And it's
How, Casey?
let me say it again.
How much of yours is left?
Chocolate silk pie. That's how smooth it is. It's smooth.
There you go. I thought you were about to ask me for some Grey Poupon or something there. Remember those things? Excuse me. Do you have any Grey Poupon?
Do you have any?
Pardon me.
Chocolate silk pie. But I'll tell you now, it is very good. Hadn't found one yet that I didn't like. And Kasey, again, has finished his before
it's gone.
the SwarmCast started. So next week I'm picking them up at 10 till. So, but anyway, Greg, thank you so much for sponsoring the show and the live stream.
Yep.
And just thank y'all for all the stuff that you do
Absolutely.
for us, man. You're a true Yellow Jacket. Went to school with you. Your brother Neil went to school with my brother Jeff.
Won a state championship or two.
Man, I'm just telling you,
Number
man,
82.
the families, we were talking about it a little bit before. The families in
The
our
lines,
program
man.
go deep. It is deep.
Well, what we were looking at, Lou Nunley, who's a good buddy of mine. Lou is the guy who's put the Football Hall of Fame together for Thomasville downtown. Mm-hmm. Some of the stuff that they have had in the things that have been donated to them, there is a 1963 Thomas County or Central versus Seminole County game program, and then a 1970 Central and Thomasville game program. And the names are the same. I mean, the names are the same.
Yep.
Adam Hopkins is in here, if that tells you anything.
It's awesome.
Yeah, just really, really cool.
I can't believe the pristine shape that these.
Yeah,
rings
good
are.
shape, good
Somebody
condition.
has done a great job of keeping.
It was in some of the coaches' stuff, and I think the coaches early on for Thomasville and Central, some of the coaches from Thomasville came to Central and were coaching here, and it was in some of that stuff. But anyway, I want to thank Lou for making those available to us, and we will be displaying these once we get the multi-purpose building together in the Thomas County Schools Sports Hall of Fame wing that we're going to be putting together. If you've got memorabilia and stuff that's sitting in a closet somewhere that's just gathering dust, just think about it. Be a good way to display it. Our young people, our kids need to see this stuff.
Yep.
Because
and
this
it'll
is part
be kept
of their
in good shape.
Oh, no doubt.
It'll be in a good spot to where
climate control,
Absolutely.
out of everybody's reach and everything. But to me, it's important for them to be able to look at that because the young people, just like we're saying, I mean, the same names are still walking the hallways. they need to understand that this is part of who and what they are too. So anyway, just something to think about.
Absolutely.
We'll have a flashback tonight. We're going to go back to Justin Rogers' first game against the Dogs 2 years ago, and I think that might be the night everybody walked out going, okay, something's up here.
Well, I can tell you this, and I think Coach Rogers would attest to it. I think Coach Rogers, after that game, realized just how much this rivalry meant to this town.
Yeah, we're going to talk to him about that.
Hey, Coach, you got me?
Coach Rogers.
Coach, you got me?
Yes, sir.
There we are. Hey, man, how you doing tonight?
Good. How about y'all?
We're good. We are talking all things Yellow Jacket here.
Absolutely.
I heard that.
Yeah,
it's always a good topic to discuss.
Absolutely. I was sharing that our flashback tonight, we're going to go back to the game 2 years ago downtown, which was your first one against the Dogs. And Jamie was just saying, and you've said this, that you may have underestimated just how big a deal this thing might be, but after you walked out of there, you darn sure didn't.
No, it was an eye-opening experience. From the minute we got off the bus over there, that's when I realized, like, oh man, these people serious. and so yeah, there's no doubt. And now 2 years later, I have a whole different appreciation for it, and just how big this game is to this community and everyone involved in it.
Big time. Go back to Florida High, Coach, a game against a very athletic team. I thought our guys played really, really well. To me, the score is kind of deceptive because
you're still 63-28 now.
Yeah, I know.
Just saying, I mean.
Let me just hang up right here. Now, you got a point.
I was like, I don't know how you say the score is deceptive, but I'm with you in the fact that you gave them a short field and you had 2 kick returns for a touchdown.
Exactly.
It could have been 60-something-7.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, because I've joked around. I said, I think we've changed the standard around this joint. I said, I get 63-28. I got people asking me like, dang, Coach,
what's wrong?
Got stuff to, yeah, I'm like,
Coach, that thing was tight, man.
Yeah, we all had the same game. How's that? Certainly we've not peaked. We've got a lot we have to improve on, a lot of things we have to get better at, but there's a lot of things to be commended of what we're doing. One thing I didn't really think about it, and I thought about it this week. I mean, just offense. Let's just talk about our offense right now. All right, we've got 2 sophomores that are starting, and then there's a lot of times when we snap the ball on offense that we've got 3 sophomores and a freshman in the 11. On defense, we're starting 2 sophomores starting. And then there's a lot of times when we go our dime package, we got 2 sophomores and a freshman in the 11 on defense. And so we've got an inexperienced team. That's not even talking about juniors that are first-year starters.
Right.
That's just sophomores and freshmen. And when you get to this level of football, it's hard for sophomores and freshmen to be on the field. And so we've got some guys on there early. So I'm real pleased at where we're at, for an inexperienced team and everything this early in the year.
Let me just tell our folks watching on Facebook, share the video if you would, and say hello to Lakeisha Esther and Whit there. I see Pastor Marable saying hello online. Coach, going back to the Florida High game, 2 names, Deuce Lawrence and D. Reddick. Just those, I don't even know what to say, really. I mean, both of them just really showed out.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Deuce has been a great asset to our running back room, and he gives us a different element of running back that we hadn't had. And we've had some really good backs, more punishing, more hard to tackle type backs, where Deuce gives you that more elusive, you're trying to pull his flag type back.
Right.
And then he can just, once he gets the seam, can take it to the house. And so, and he catches well out the backfield. And so, no, he's been dynamic. And then D. Reddick, I mean, what is there to say about him? I mean, he's just a polarizing figure. I mean, he's an unbelievable player. I mean, everybody can see that. But just he makes people around him better.
Right.
I mean, just the people around him, his energy, his excitement for this game. I mean, you ask people, do you love football? And everybody says yes. But everybody don't really love it. D. Reddick loves football.
Right.
And his passion for it just rubs off on people. And so everybody got to see how great he is, but then you saw how much better I think our whole team was just because he's back on the field.
Yeah, he has like I said again, he doesn't just He's not electric. He's the electric company. I mean, he's
Amen.
the source of it.
Yes.
Man. And Coach, too, something you and I have not really talked about that I'm very impressed with this team, with all the inexperience. The chemistry between these guys, like Deuce, for example. I mean, this is his first year. It just seems like the chemistry is really, really good between all these guys.
It is. I mean, I think we've got a strong culture. And so, you know, when people do join your program, whether it be from outside or from people wanting to come and play football that maybe hadn't played and want to come out of the hallways, I think our culture is infectious and it kind of rubs off on them. I really do.
Yeah.
And so I'm really proud of that, of our young men. And our young men are doing a much better job of really holding the standard themselves.
Yep.
Like they really hold every player in our organization to a standard. And when the players are driving the team, and that's when you've got a great culture, not when the coaches are having to hold the rope per se, but when the players are. And so we've got a good group of players that have seen it modeled over the last 2 years. And now that they're in leadership positions, they're carrying on that standard and holding everyone to an expectation. And that kind of sets your culture when they know the players are holding the standard, not
right.
the players. And so you get a great culture, I think. And I was proud in the fact, we got tied up early in the K-Row game, and then it was tied at half in this game. And a lot of times adversity and tight ball games reveal your culture. Like you think you got a good one, and sometimes you find out you don't when you get in those tight ball games. But they've just been awesome and really done great. No finger pointing, none of that crap. And just kind of battled through some adversity when we dealt with it.
And let me say this too, and part of the reason to me that the culture is so cool, we had a gentleman that brought a game program today that they donated to the little thing that we're going to try to put together in that multipurpose building, Coach. It's a 1970 Central and Thomasville game program, and the names are the same names. I mean, you got Reddix, you got Brooks. I mean, this is something that's in the DNA. You know what I'm saying?
No, there's no doubt. I mean, it's I was talking to Matt Dukes this afternoon, and he's coach of that 6th grade team, and they were handing out jerseys, for numbers, and they was like, "Now, didn't your daddy play so and so? What was his name? Oh, that's your number. What's your did your uncle play? Yeah, this is gonna be your number." And just giving them the numbers of the people in their family and their dads that played with those numbers. So
that's cool.
There's definitely a lineage, that comes with playing for Central.
Jamie, you got anything?
Well, Coach, I just wanted to ask you, it definitely won't be hard to get anybody focused tomorrow night for sure. But I just wanted to ask you kind of how the week went, probably a little extra excitement, but I can remember playing in these games. And, man, I'll tell you, there was nothing like, of course, now they were in our region when I was playing.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, I mean, we were fighting and scrapping to just get into playoffs and get away from them,
Sure.
Because, I mean, heck, you could mess around and find yourself in trouble, not make the playoffs losing to them. But the week overall, you feel like it had a pretty focused week. I mean, everything went good.
Yeah, no, it's been a real good week. I think we've had a good week of practice and everything like that. Had good weather this week.
Yeah.
We've had a little cool spell last 2 days, boy. It's been nice. Mm-hmm. And so now, I mean, you kids know what this game is. We talked about it yesterday. I mean, there's a lot of games, whether you win it or lose it, after you play the next week, you move on from it. But this ain't one of them games, brother. Yep. This one right here, whatever happens, is going to live with you for a year now. So there's some weight that comes with that. Yep. And so I think our kids have definitely been a little bit more focused. They're definitely a lot more excited about it. This is one that you look forward to all year, and so they're definitely juiced up. But it don't matter what kind of week you've had or what kind of preparation you had. When you get up there and you go out there for pregame warm-ups, that's when you really realize, like, oh, Lord, we're about to kick this thing off.
Yep.
Like, it's just the whole vibe is different. Right. And so it's exciting for that.
Well, one of the names that we haven't talked about, Coach, that came back last week was Gary Pringle. I thought Gary played really well. Yeah. And injury-wise, how are we going in here? I mean, everybody, for the most part, pretty good?
Yeah, man, we're slowly getting back. And so, yeah, everybody's available. Everybody's good to go. In fact, next week we'll get Diggs back, DeMario Diggs, who was, penciled in to be our starting right guard to start the season and then got banged up the week of the Lounge scrimmage. but he actually comes back next week, and he'll come back and start playing. And so, yeah, no, we're in good shape, being healthy. Everybody's, kind of off restrict. We've had, even last week when we had some guys play, they were in practice restrictions Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and then kind of got cleared as Friday went to go full tilt. But this week, everybody's been off practice restrictions the entire week. So, no, excited about that. You're getting to see everybody have a full week of practice this week.
All right, so go ahead and talk to the fans, Coach. I know you want to tell them something.
Oh, you already know. I got to tell you, if I got to get you fans to do something this week, then your wood's wet. Like, you got a problem.
Might be a lot of stuff wet.
Yeah, you knew. Yeah, there's gonna be some stuff wet. Ain't no doubt. But you know what your week this is.
Yeah.
Like you say, you already know. So I know our fans are gonna be great. They're gonna be excited about it. They are up for the challenge. There ain't no doubt. And so I worry about sometimes how our D-line's going to play, and sometimes I get a little nervous, see if our receiver's going to play good. I ain't worried about Jackie Nation. That thing's consistent. So I know it's going to be good. Like I say, we know they're going to be there loud and proud. Rain can't even run them off.
That's the truth. Now, I assume you guys worked on kickoff coverage a little bit this week in practice, possibly. Is that a possibility?
You better believe it, man. That's a mighty dog. And I can't blame no other coach because I'm the one that coaches. And so it ain't nothing but Justin Rogers' fault.
Yeah.
And so we definitely tweak some things, personnel, tweak some things with skill development. And I know we're going to be better because I don't know if you can be worse. So I know we're going to be better at kickoff coverage. And it was something the last 2 years we have taken so much pride on. Because our kickoff coverage teams have been so good. And so, it hurt not only me, but I think it hurt those players because I've got them bought into the importance of special teams. Right. And I was like, man, I can't believe this has happened. It was some small errors, and it was a good guy that was returning, but it was self-inflicted stuff, the way we were fitting things. And so I think they've done really good on that. You're right about focusing on it. And so I hope I don't jinx it, though, but I think we're going to be way better with it.
Jamie, anything else?
Nope.
All right.
Coach, I'm as excited as anybody for tomorrow night, and just –
well, I want to share with you.
Nothing like it.
Whit just said on Facebook that she's got your back because she's been tooting her horn today, warming it up. So there you go.
Choo, gang. You already know now. Whit got your back. I can promise you on that. But hey, I'll check the weather while I go. Coop just finished up football practice, so I was looking at the weather on it. Hey, we down to a 45 and 50%. So that means that's a 60 and 50% chance that it ain't gonna rain.
Saw that.
You know, as I'm saying, it's going down, man. So we're going to look at the glass half full, man. It's going to be a nice, cool. Hey, all it's going to do is just cool off.
I like it.
It ain't going to rain. It's going to feel great.
Make them horns cherry, too, boy. Them horns going to be loud.
Folks in Brooks County and Grady County going to be like, what in the world is going on in Thomasville tonight?
The horns of Jericho.
You got it.
Ain't no doubt, brother. It may be some walls tumbling down after the horns blow like this.
Well, Coach, listen, go out there tomorrow night, take care of business. Let's get that series lead and keep it in our hip pocket. Excited to see how it goes, man.
Amen, y'all. I can't wait. Go Jackets.
Hey, thanks, Coach. Appreciate it. Yeah, there's nothing quite like that guy, right? Tell you.
Absolutely.
You don't have to prompt him very much. And again, if you guys are watching and you got any questions or comments, please post them up. And we will try to address them as best we can. Share the video. Let all your friends know that we are kind of having a little special SwarmCast here tonight because we're going to talk about some of our favorite memories. So now, Jamie, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you go first.
Are we ready?
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. Let's go ahead and jump in. So give me one of your memories, and then I'll follow up with one of mine.
All right. So here I am, a little old freshman. Well, wasn't too little, but I want to mention some of my offensive linemen that I was behind. I had Scott Cooley.
That's a pretty good one.
James Revels.
That's a good one.
Tim Singletary.
That's a good one.
He was our center, and he was the baby.
He was the runt,
but
right?
Tim will appreciate that. Wayne Marshburn, a maniac.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
And Wayne's probably laughing. He knows.
But it's true.
And
was it Ken
I believe it was Carter Barton.
Carter Barton, okay.
But I can't say enough about that group.
Mm-hmm.
Made us so much better coming up because I'm going to tell you they brought it during practice. But
is that the group that the Atlanta Journal-Constitution came in and did the story
Coach
about?
Hodges was
Yeah, they were holding on.
Yeah,
on
man,
their
they were bigger
shoulders.
than Georgia, man.
That's right.
But anyway, I remember the first time we went downtown in 1986. It was Charlie Ward, Sean Jones, Tyrone Barber on the offensive line at Thomasville.
Eric Curry, Tommy Raines.
I think it was Alfonso Ellis.
Alfonso was a senior. That's right.
Rusty Parrish was their center. He was a monster.
Cedric Small, Freddie Guyton.
I just the names go on and on and on and on.
Yep.
But I can remember walking, and I got chills now. But I can remember walking out of the gym, and the seas just like parted.
Mm-hmm.
There were so many people, and I said, "Gosh, man, what in the world?" You know. And as we walked and we come into the stadium, and when we run through that run through, it was like a college game.
Yep.
I can't even.
The
I
whole
can't
night.
even explain it. I guarantee you, there ain't many times that I felt. I don't know. It was just feeling like
surreal. I'm sure
it was, and you get on the sideline and you're so jacked up, and your adrenaline's just and I think right off the rip, I think Charlie hits Tommy for a 70-yard touchdown just right off the rip. I mean, the pressure eases up. And
there's Bryan Davis, by the way.
Bryan Davis going to come in here and shake that dust off over there.
Hey, get your frappe now.
Oh, that's my first.
That's what you call it, a frappe?
A frappe. There's a lot of frappe over there.
That was the
There we
first
go.
one
Can y'all see me? Let's see.
Yeah, you're in there. We got you.
All right.
in this series. That was
I
my
want you
first
to look at this. Courtesy service.
one. Absolutely.
Thank you,
Leave you a
Kasey.
tip. Get a new hairstyle. It's a tip.
Use the umbrella in the rain.
That's a tip.
You may need it tomorrow.
That's a tip. Well, my memory about that game was Tommy separating his shoulder
Absolutely.
and them taking him out in the second quarter. And I'm going to tell you, I mean, Tommy was a game breaker. He was that good.
Oh, yeah.
And you started thinking, okay, now who's going to step into that role? And just before the half, he comes running back onto the field, windmill in that arm. It literally started the wave in the stadium. I mean, the whole place just kind of came up. And that game ended up 35-28.
It was an unbelievable football
Yep.
game. I want to say Red Christopher was a receiver. Steve Garland.
Steve Garland had Craig West.
Craig West and
Blake Anderson.
Blake Anderson.
Yep.
God, it was. It's hard to believe that kind of talent was on both sides of that field.
Ridiculous.
But that was my first one.
Yep.
And that one started my high school career against Thomasville.
We're talking about our favorite memories from this series.
Sure.
And then it goes to 19.
Well, now, hold on. Hold your second.
You wanna
one
do
now.
one?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna say. Well, I was going to get Brian. I'm sure
Okay.
he's probably got one he wants to throw in there at some point. Or you want to think about it?
Well, I'll say this. It kind of, differs a little bit. So, my very first game that I called with y'all was in 2016. We went down there, and that was when we had Calais. And that game, that I never really, as a fan when I was younger, and I went down there, I never really felt how confined it is down there, just because of the different atmosphere you get because of being really on top of the field.
Mm-hmm.
Until we went and called that game, and then I was like, wow, it feels different now. And that game to me was really fun. And it maybe just stands out to me more because that was the first one I ever had the opportunity to call. But that game was a good game. But you have so many and so many that where you just where players that you hadn't really talked about, all of a sudden somebody makes a play that and now they're a household name.
Happens every year. Somebody you don't expect, just like you just said, that you don't know when you walk out. Everybody knows who they are.
So what happened the same year, or may have been the next year, in the playoff game?
Yep, down there.
Who picks the pass off?
David Taylor.
David Taylor in my class.
And that's one of those. Now, he was a great player.
Absolutely.
But he was a legend after that. Now, the one I want to talk about was 2002. Eric Walden.
Oh, yeah.
We get down 28-7
Yep.
at the half, and they are handing us not only our rear end, but everything in the general vicinity. I mean, it was not
ugly.
even close. And somehow or another, Eric starts bringing us back. And the players from that particular team talked about Coach Wilhelm's halftime speech in that game, where he talked about the donkey in the well. Yeah. And how the donkey down at the bottom of the well, to get that donkey out of there, they used one shovel full of dirt at a time, and little by little by little by little, it built up, and the donkey was able to get out of it. And that is exactly what happened in that second half, and we tied it up 28-28, did not allow 1 point after halftime, and won it in overtime.
Wow.
A penetration.
Yep, 29-28. But that was the night, though, I think that everybody walked out knowing Eric Walden.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of knew what he had in him, but when it was 28-7, and you're seeing people getting up and leaving because, I mean, it was that ugly. And all of a sudden, the light bulb just kind of comes on, and Eric becomes Eric. He walked out of there a legend. Yep. Very, very impressive. Now, let's do this. You want to go ahead and jump into the flashback? Because this is another fantastic memory in this series. And we're going to go back to 2022, the first Justin Rogers game against Thomasville, where we had lost the 2 previous games and not even close, really. And Coach Rogers comes on the scene. We go down there with a team that had, I mean, again, the previous year, their season ended with the 59-0 loss in the playoffs, and Thomasville was solid. And let's go back to 2022 and see what happened.
Two-man right. Sam takes the snap, goes to Fulton, gets a block to the 35, to the 40, Fulton to the 45, run through somebody. Ricky Fulton almost keeps his feet, stumbles to the 45. Sideline, Sam wants the snap. Takes it, steps straight back, looks with time, loads it, throws it deep, tight end wide open in the 10, he catches it, drives 3 down at the 2. And quickly we line up. Sam with Brenton behind him, takes it to Brenton up the middle, 5-4-3, drives down to the 1, touchdown Thomas, it's right there.
Everybody in a red jersey touched him, but nobody brought him down.
He wants the snap, looks at a 4-man front, moving toward the highway, takes it. Fakes it to Fulton, right across the middle, caught. Tyler Floyd bounces off people, Jukes drives, 45, 50, Tyler Floyd, 45, 40, Tyler Jukes gets pulled down from behind at the 36, Tyler Floyd, my gosh, he juked 3 guys out of their jock straps. 2-man wide right, a man left, you okay? Man behind him, takes the snap, looks, throws it to the sideline, caught Malachi, 25, Malachi 20, 15, Malachi drives down to about the 12 and pushed out of bounds. You're tight end again. Sam with Brenton on his right hip, wants the snap, takes it, runs up the middle, touchdown! Dove over the line, and it is 13-0 here.
Sam Brown, the most physical quarterback I have seen in a long time.
We got 10 guys on the line waiting for the snap. Snap, high, rolls through it, so down to about the 15, still rolling to the 10. They're going to dive on into the 5, it's still rolling down to the 4, and we've got on top of it. A man left, takes the snap, fakes it to Bean, rolls right. Looking with time now, with pressure. Cam Brooks hits him and knocks him down to the 10. Cam Brooks, the freshman. 44, sends Floyd in motion toward the right. Sam takes the snap, straight back, looking, throws it across the middle. Colt Hopkins hit there, 31. Hopkins right side, 25. Hopkins 20, 15, knocked down at the 12. Speed. Yep, 14-0. We lead it. Clock under 5 minutes here. But we are knocking on the door with a sledgehammer. Sam down at their 1, wants the snap, takes it, hands it to Brenton, right side, walks in, touchdown. Sam in a shotgun, looks at a 3-man front this time. 3 backers up pretty close, by the way, on the line. Sam sends Floyd in motion from right to left, claps the hand, takes the snap, steps back, looks with time, looking, throws it down the field. There's Reddick at the 50. He's down to the 47. D. Reddick, the sophomore. Wants the snap, takes it, hands it to Brenton. Brenton, no, Sam keeps it, runs 5, 6, 7. Sam 35, Sam 30, 25, 20, 15, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What a block from Hopkins.
Oh my gosh.
Adam Hopkins just cleaned somebody's clock back here.
Oh my goodness.
And Sam Brown just went 47 yards.
Yeah, and that's a prime example of what we were talking about a minute ago, because when you walked out of there that night, Trey Brenton and Malachi, everybody knew who they were at that point. Yep. And, of course, I think you could say that about Sam and some other guys. But I think all of the Jacket Nation walked out of that station that night going, okay, this is real. This is very legit.
Yeah, I mean, because you didn't expect to go in there in the way that you did, and just so quickly how that team turned around. And I mean, it went from Jamie calling us from that preseason thing or the spring thing at Perry, and he's saying, "Boys, it's different." And then all of a sudden we get to August, and here it is. And it was just that game set the tone for that when Justin Rogers was in town, things were a little bit different.
Yep.
It was amazing. It
Yeah.
was amazing to me.
And
the switch?
What was crazy was going back and watching that. We left a lot of points on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, that could have been
Yeah.
really ugly.
I think on that punt
Yep.
that we recovered, I don't think we scored on that.
I think we got a field goal out of it. I think it was a field goal possibly. But,
What was
again, you're down at the 5, don't get a touchdown.
That's right.
The final on that one was
31-0.
31, yeah.
31-0. But at that point, again, it is, and I think we're all kind of in agreement here. The Justin Rogers era was officially indoctrinated, and the standard had changed.
And Mr. Rogers' neighborhood
Was developed.
took hold, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Let's thank Dairy Queen one more time. How's
I
that?
almost got mine done.
How's that frappe?
Much needed. Much needed. It's really good. It's very good.
Tell us about the softball game real quick, Brian.
Tonight was senior night, and so we played the Vicats from Lowndes County. It didn't go our way. We lost 5-1, but we just, they got hits and they strung them together when they needed to. We just couldn't quite get things together tonight, and but nevertheless, it went the way that it did. Lowndes was very, very deep. They had a huge roster, 18 girls, which is large, compared to our 13, I think. So they had depth there, and so it started showing a little bit, but that's all right. I mean, they're a larger school. You played good ball, I felt like. You just couldn't get timely hits when you needed them.
Probably a bunch of seniors on their team, too.
Yeah, they had quite a few. But we did get to honor our 2 seniors tonight, number 11, Kaylee Gooden, and number 14, Kennedy Warren. Both of those girls have played since middle school. They have been in the program 7 years.
Wow.
That's one thing that separates our softball program is how many girls you get for almost their whole middle school career. As soon as they come out of
They're program players.
Y-ball, they're immediately in the middle school program, and it just takes off. I mean, you should have seen the line of middle school girls we had tonight. I mean, probably 24, 25 of them.
Wow.
And so a ton of freshmen. I think we had 6 freshmen on our team. I mean, so the program's there. I mean, it is right where it needs to be, and it's all because it's been established by seniors like you had tonight. And congratulations to them on a fantastic career, 2 great girls. And they, at our softball games, they always let them record like a thank you message, and they get to talk to each player individually and stuff like that, and to the coaches and things. And they did such a great job. It was very heartfelt. They recorded. They were both super well spoken, and it was a good night. And so it was, we lost on senior night. It is what it is. You move on, and you win the right region games. Losing on senior night ain't such a bad thing.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep. Do you have the list of the pick'em games from Bryce?
Yes,
real
I do.
quick? I wanted Jamie to make sure that we heard those so that we can kind of get our thoughts together on it too.
Okay, week 4.
Well, by the way, let me remind everybody watching on Facebook, share the video, please, so that your friends can see it. And if you're watching on YouTube, and we're on YouTube too, correct? If you've got questions,
just chat's not working.
that's fine. If you've got any sort of comments or questions or something, post them up, and we'll see if we can get to them. All right. So, what are the week's games?
All right, so our week 4 is Brooks at Worth, Cook at Callaway, Warner Robins at Houston, North Gwinnett at Mill Creek, and Buford at Roswell.
Okay.
So it's a good little slate
Area
there.
51.
That's some tough games.
And for those who are interested, Bryce and I are tied for 3rd, 10-5. Randy is 13-2. He's the leader, and Jamie is closely behind him at 12-3.
There you go.
So we can.
I'll take that.
We'll go back to it a little bit later. Give Jamie some time to think through.
I'm good. I'm ready.
Well, if you're ready, we can do it now. It's up to y'all.
He's fueled up on that blizzard, so he's good to go.
And Bryce sent me his too. So
Okay.
What are y'all ready on? Good.
Yeah, we go into it. You want to?
All right, I believe. Let me go back to it now. The first one, Brooks at Worth County. Jamie, if you want to.
Brooks.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Brooks may have found themselves a little bit last week against Cook.
I'm going Brooks as well, and let's see. Bryce sent me his. He went Brooks too.
Okay.
So all in agreement there. Let me go back. Cook at Callaway.
I'm going Cook.
Yeah, I am too. Callaway is struggling this year. They got beat pretty bad last week, and Cook's a pretty good football team. So I'll go Cook.
I'm gonna go Cook as well. I thought they looked really good, and they had a battle with Bammers the other day, but they pulled through, and I think Cook has got it.
Who'd Bryce pick?
Bryce picked Cook as well.
Well, okay.
All right, so this one we may differ on. We'll see. Warner Robins at Houston.
Hoko.
Yeah, I'm going Houston. Got Antoine Hill.
Yep.
And, I mean,
And they got a new receiver, too, that's
moved
showing
in.
out, too.
Yeah.
Bryce picked Houston. I'm gonna go Warner Robins.
Good deal.
You
Okay.
can't you can't be the leader if you don't change your direction. So
Yeah, but you can go on to the bottom.
hey, that's all right. That's all right.
Yeah,
just
you're
kidding.
right. You're right.
North Gwinnett at Mill Creek.
North Gwinnett had the big win last week in Colquitt County. But I'm going to tell you, it stops right there.
You're picking Mill Creek.
Mill Creek.
I'm going to have to go with North Gwinnett. I mean, they clearly, their defense must be special to keep Colquitt County down to 3 points. So I'll go North Gwinnett.
Bryce went North Gwinnett, and I'm gonna do the same thing too. North Gwinnett.
All right, so
Big
Jamie's rolling the
game.
dice. Here we
Yeah,
go.
boy.
We got it.
Last one, Buford at Roswell.
That's 2 quality programs there now.
I'm going Buford.
Yeah, I mean, Buford's Buford. And Roswell's a very good program, but Buford's kind of got their wheels under them. I'll go Buford.
Bryce went Buford. I'm gonna go Roswell.
Okay.
Why not?
All
You know,
right.
I think they're good.
That should be a good game.
You'll get
It'll be a really good
abducted.
game.
So yeah, you know, beam me up.
That's right. Area 52 or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
So that is this week's pick 'em.
Okay. Awesome.
Buford T. Justice.
There's no way. So we're talking about favorite memories from this series. And if you guys have got a particular year or a particular game that stands out to you, please share it. And I'm the only one here, and I'm going to go ahead and do one more, and then we'll get to one more of yours, Jamie. And then Brian, the baby of the bunch, can throw in there too. The 76 game was very special.
I remember that one.
Yeah. You weren't even a gleam in your daddy's eye. I don't even know what your daddy.
I say Daddy was barely walking.
I was gonna
you know?
say,
There's no way.
That 76 game, that was the first high school football game I ever went to. And as a kid that had grown up in Jacksonville with a grandfather that raised me who had played for Thomasville, I just was
Son of a plumber.
the American dream. But walking into that stadium as a kid and seeing one side red, one side blue, and just like you said, the intensity of the situation, I grossly underestimated it. And that particular game ended up 7-3. Vance Hurst caught a touchdown pass from Donnie Ruiz down in the Jackson Street end zone. That was the only touchdown of the game. And Thomasville got down to the 1 yard line, had a 1st and goal, and could not get in. And this was 2 years removed from their national championship year. So you're talking a pretty special season for Thomasville and Central. But Terry White, who will be, and we're going to talk about the Thomas County Schools Sports Hall of Fame too. Terry White will be here next week, along with George Herring, who was an Olympic weightlifter from here, and it was one of his linemen. But Terry, this was back in the day when you had tearaway jerseys. And Terry always started the game as number 15, but he might end up as 3. He could end up as 7. He might be like 12 or something, just depending on what jerseys were available. And Terry was a man among boys, and just a fantastic game. And again, a tremendous memory. So anyway, you got another one you want to throw out there?
I've got a couple, but I got to throw this one out because this is one I played in, and it was 89. It was our place, and Thomasville coming off a state championship, undefeated in 1988.
Brought a lot back
very
from it,
good
too.
football team. Alan Williams, Charles Bostic, a bunch of players coming back. A lot of good players. And I remember getting down 10-0 at half, and going into the locker room, and everybody kind of rallying together and saying, this can't happen here. So come back out there and tied that thing up, and that was the night they moved Tommy Raines to running back, and I can just that was something to see.
Yeah, you got a 6'3", 240-pound running back there who could outrun anything on the field too.
Absolutely, It had gotten tied 17-17 late, and
Kevin James.
I remember like it was yesterday. the Allen Williams dropping that football.
Fumbled it.
And it dropped it right in my lap. I fell on it. I think we run 2 or 3 plays, but we kicked the field goal. Kevin James kicked the field goal. We beat them 20-17 in our house.
Yep, I remember it.
Where nobody gave you a chance.
Yep. And y'all had beat Worth the previous year, and they were the defending state champions.
Yep.
Yeah, I
and
remember that.
Beat them with Robert Toomer.
Robert Toomer.
God, man. Y'all ever seen him run? It was unbelievable. But
he shouldn't have been that good, but he was.
But the last one I wanted to share was, I'm not sure what year it was, but I know that Jesse Small was a linebacker, and I think Alfonso Ellis may have been a freshman or a sophomore, but he was a man-child then.
Yeah.
And the thing I remember is I was with my dad, and I remember they used to call this thing the Bulldog on this jacket side. It's when Central players, we had a chain link fence that went around our field. They would run you off out of bounds, and they'd run you under that fence. They'd put you into that fence, and they'd have to get you out of it. But I remember they did that, Alfonso, and I remember that night because I don't know what coaches it was, but
must have been Larry Green.
Alfonso Ellis was being carried off by his coaches. But they had bruised up some ribs that night. I think there was a lot of chatter that went on the week before.
I'm sure.
But I think we got them pretty good that night. I can't remember the year, but I think Jesse Small had a lot to do with that.
I can't imagine.
He was a mean dude. I played with his brother Cedric, he wasn't that far behind him.
Yeah.
But Jesse was just a different dude now.
Yeah.
But those were some memories that.
Think of the names you're throwing out there, though. Like Jesse Small, Alfonso Ellis. I mean, shoot, that doesn't get a whole
It was
lot
awesome, and the rivalry has been unbelievable. I remember whoever gave the interview down there at the it was downtown at a little cafe downtown, and one of the old men that was sitting there where you could get milkshakes and stuff.
Oh, was it
Izzo's?
The Izzos.
That was Lawson Neal. I remember that.
The old fella sitting there, and they said, well, what do you think about the game tonight? He said, it would be a nice time to go rob a bank.
Because everybody's there.
It's a game like none other.
Yep. You got any?
The night that, to me, it stands out because it kind of burdened my soul. Of course, me growing up, I'm only 28. I was so used to us winning. Because, you got to think, by the time, I got old enough to really comprehend what was going on. That was when the tide had kind of turned, and we had started just putting wins on top of wins as far as the series goes. 2009 was the first time I remember us losing to them when the lights went out. That game is burned into my memory. And I realized when I was, of course, younger, I didn't like losing to them.
Yeah.
And that's when it kind of realized, for me, that's when it was a rivalry.
Yep.
Because I just like, we'll beat Thomasville. Because that's the way at that
the
point,
last 25 last 25 games were 19-6 against them.
And so after that, I'm like, I don't ever want to have to feel this again.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. And so that, to me, kind of set the tone as far as them really being a rival in my soul and in the way I saw it, at least. And so ever since then, it's just like this game, it means everything. It really does. It means everything to these kids. It means because you're playing against your cousin.
Yep.
You're playing against, your whatever, maybe somebody you sit with at church or whatever.
Somebody you grew up with.
Yeah, and so it means a lot. And it's bragging rights for 365 days.
Well, and really and truly, I think that particular year, Eric Dodson was a brand new quarterback coming in, and that was his first game. And I remember that very well, too, because it felt like the game was turning. It felt like Thomasville was kind of running out of gas, and we were kind of taking control of it. And right there in the middle of the fourth quarter, the lights went out because we had a long lightning delay, and they were on a timer.
Yeah, controlled in Texas.
And Iowa. Yeah, and they had to call somebody in Iowa to get the lights turned back on. My gosh. And then by that time,
exactly the way it should be.
Yeah, exactly.
But Thomasville got their second win to them, and they took care of business. Of course, everybody talks about the 93 game, and that one kind of stands alone because of the state championship being played between the two schools. That was, and I've said this many, many times, that game was not fun. There was nothing fun about that game because there was so much tension. It was so nerve-wracking that when it was over, I mean, of course, you were thrilled you won, but the main thing, it was over. It was just everybody could finally just exhale. I mean, when you've got ESPN and CBS coming here to cover a high school football game between two teams a mile apart, first time that two teams from in one county had ever played each other for a state championship at that point, it was historic. And then you got Charlie Jr. at FSU
winning a Heisman,
about to win the national championship in the Heisman. I mean, it was freakish, all the stuff that was happening. And that particular game, that will live forever. I totally agree with you. And Ken Hortman just told me that Tift has beaten Bainbridge 7-0. And Bainbridge moved their game to tonight instead of tomorrow night because of the threat of rain. They've got a natural field kind of like ours. So if you get a big deluge, then you're playing in a pig pen at that point. Let's talk real quick about what we know about Thomasville. They are a fantastic team, first off. I don't think it's a stretch to say that this is the best team they've had since they played in the state championship a handful of years ago.
Yep.
And
I think so.
What's crazy, there are 30 seniors on this team, and there's like almost 30 juniors.
Okay.
How in the world is that even possible? But it is. So you're talking about a team very experienced, great skill positions. Cam Hill, quarterback.
Yep.
I mean, he and Jalen Johnson are so similar in so many ways.
Yep.
It's almost freakish when you look at it.
And a great family.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Good as gold, man. Good folks.
Yep.
Good folks. But this will be the highest ranked that both teams. Thomasville's ranked number 1 in their division in single A right now. First time since that state championship runner-up season that they had that they've been ranked number 1. We're ranked 2 in 5A. But this is the highest rank that both teams have been playing each other since 1987. And that's interesting. I mean, you're going back to the ones you were talking about just a little while ago.
Oh, yeah.
But it sounds like, Brian, from all indications, this is just a really solid Thomasville team.
They had 393 yards last week, 114 over the air, and then 279 on the ground. And
against K-Rob.
Cam had he completed 59% of his passes, and he had 1 interception last week. He's a good quarterback, and they got 2 really good running backs too.
Yep.
You know, well, they're so deep this year. That's what kind of separates this team out. Even being a single A team, is they have 28 seniors?
It's right at 30.
And so that's big numbers if you're a 5A school. And so that's kind of what separates them out, is just that they have that depth that can go with the larger schools that have that depth, on a more annual basis.
Yep.
And also the big thing is when you can start and keep those kids together.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those drop out along the way. That can go a long way of you determining how close they are, because they don't want to let each other down. So you just gotta. I've talked to a lot of people that said that this ain't gonna be a big deal, but I'm just telling you, you cannot judge.
I disagree.
You cannot judge Hart, and when you got 28 beaten at one time, it's
yeah.
I mean, you got to go play the football game.
Well, here's the thing: when you got that much experience, those guys aren't going to panic. Now, I mean,
right.
And you can get a lead, and they're not going to panic. I mean, you're talking a bunch of mature players, and to me, that's the really intriguing matchup here with this particular game.
Yep.
Central's roster is not senior heavy. I mean, there's like 7-8 seniors on the whole team.
Yep.
And not all of those start. It is a very junior and sophomore laden roster.
Now, I don't want nobody to think that I don't think we're in good shape.
No.
We're in good shape.
No,
I mean,
it's a very talented roster.
We'll be ready to play, but
yep.
This is going to be a good football game.
Don't discredit them just because they're
absolutely.
a single A.
Yeah, but
absolutely.
I think experience-wise, they have an advantage. There's just no question about that.
They're
And again, they are very hungry because the last couple of times that we've played them, we've pretty well handled the business pretty solid.
Yep.
So I expect a really tight game now.
Yep.
And the weather is the wild card in the whole thing. And you don't know what to say. Now, Coach Rogers mentioned a while ago that the rain chances apparently have come down some, and that's good. It sounds like the majority of the rain tomorrow will be in the afternoon, and then the evening looks like it's going to be cloudy with some showers, but hopefully not storms.
Yeah.
And that's the concern. I've had a bunch of people asking about parking, and I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. And it's not like the construction at Thomasville right now has wiped out thousands of parking places. It hasn't. I mean, really and truly, maybe 100 or so parking places that were there behind the home side on their stadium.
Yeah, there never has been that much room to park.
No, not at all. So this is not really a whole lot different than it really ever has been. But you've got First Friday going on downtown.
Yep.
Weather permitting. And, I mean, it's a Friday night. So my suggestion to our fans is just we've got some fans that are going to be meeting here at the Jackets Nest and all getting in one vehicle and going down there. That's smart. That's a smart way of doing it.
Yep.
I do know a couple of folks are doing some shuttle stuff that I heard talked about on Facebook. To me, though, that carpooling thing, that's a smart way of going about it. Yep. And that way you just get there early and you don't have to really worry about it.
And you get there early, you get to watch the veteran video that was put together.
That's right.
By yours truly over there.
Yep.
Wait, what now?
The veterans video.
Yeah, and I want to talk about it. And Pastor Marable says that football's an inside-out game. Our lines of scrimmage are way better. We respect opponents, but I vehemently disagree. The game will not be close. And I hope you're right. I hope you're right, Pastor, 1,000%. And I know what you're saying. I do think along the lines of scrimmage we've got an advantage, but you've got a bunch of sophomores here and a bunch of juniors that have not started in this game. This is their first time with that spotlight being on them.
Different.
And the emotion – You can lose a game in the first 5 minutes of the game with all that emotion flying. Now, I don't know that you can win it, but you can lose it. So we just need to take care of our business.
Yeah, the only thing I want to say about the parking, and I ain't trying to gouge anybody in the ribs or anything, but the whole thing that I've heard all week about if you park here and here and we're going to start towing you, that ain't community to me.
Yeah, yep.
I mean, come on now. This is the one night that we get to play football and we get to play each other.
Yep.
And if somebody parks in the McIntyre Park back there, y'all going to tow the cars? Come on. I think I don't understand that because it's one night.
I don't know that that's. I think
First
it's just
Friday
a bunch of
downtown too. We'll have tons of people from Tallahassee in town. A lot of people come to that thing.
Yep.
So I hope that officials and folks will be
patient,
cordial, and patient, and let the game get done. Let people leave.
Yeah.
It's not going to last all night.
I think a lot of that is just junk getting talked. Just to be honest with you, I mean, there was this thing this past week that went through the community like wildfire that the horns weren't going to be allowed in the stadium, and that's just not the case. I mean, and in fact, it sounds like Thomasville's bringing their own. And as we talked about here last week, if you want to equalize what our fans are doing, energize your fans. I mean, that's a two-way street.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like that's what the Dogs are doing, and amen. That'll make the atmosphere even that much more electric. Flat out.
I love it.
Gina Owens was asking, do you have to go in the front gate or can you still go in the visitor side? You can go in the visitor side, but there's nowhere to park over on that visitor side because they've taken all of the boosters.
They may not let you over there because I saw boosters.
Yeah, all the boosters.
No.
For what I understand, everything goes through the front gate now, no matter which side you're
I asked that, and they said that back gate will be open.
Yeah.
Okay.
They still got a ticket box back there.
Yeah.
So
you talking about the one behind
right
Scott?
the visitors
School?
Right behind the visitors.
Okay.
Yeah, they got now unless they're just not going to open it.
Yeah.
Now when I went to their scrimmage game, they were selling tickets right there. We walked in, and
it's not going to be.
You got to make it easy for the visitors to get to their seats.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't.
Golly, guys, it's 7:55. What are we doing?
Yep.
But we will be on the air tomorrow night. It's an 8:00 kickoff, and I think our fans. I haven't heard a whole lot of talk about that, but our fans need to know it is an 8:00 kickoff.
Yep.
So tailgate show on WTUF will start at 6. I'm just going to let you guys know tomorrow night is the Jaden Rubo show on the tailgate show. My gosh, he's being interviewed as the senior football player. He's doing an interview, and then he and I and Josie Walden are doing all the football talk stuff. So you're going to hear Jaden Rubo everywhere. And that's not a bad
But
thing.
he's just that awesome.
He's good.
He's a good
really
youngin'
good.
now. That's a good youngin', flat out.
Absolutely.
Young man, listen to me. That's a good young man. We will be on live at the stadium about 7 or so. Coach's Corner will start about 7:30 or so. I guess the live stream about 7:30, Kasey?
We'll probably start about 7:30. We usually started about 30 minutes before.
Okay. Yep. So, and all the information on live streaming it, I've had people from all over the country. How do we watch the game? How do we watch the game? It's very simple. Huddle, HUDL.TV, search for Thomas County Central.
Yep.
And
the thing about it is, Kasey, just throwing this out there, if it is a really, really nasty night, that may be a huge.
Oh, yeah.
And they play the game, then that will be a huge live stream.
Yeah, well, I've already heard families, and I get it. If you're a mom and a dad and you got a bunch of little kids, if it's storming, you're not going to take those kids out there, and understandably so. But you do have the option of being able to watch it.
Yeah, I've had several people already ask me about the stream.
Mm-hmm. And it's super easy to download that app on your TV.
Oh, yeah.
You know, if you go to your app store on your smart TV, it is there. I downloaded it last night at my house. Mom's got to download it at her house now. Super easy, very convenient. And, you know, you don't have to watch it on this. You can watch it on your TV as long as you have a smart TV or a Roku
Wi-Fi.
device attached and Wi-Fi,
And Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Gotta have a Wi-Fi.
Angie Collier, who is my wife's cousin, said they're going to be listening from Indiana, the Hoosier State.
Do it.
But if you want to listen online, all you have to do is go to WTUFradio.com, and there is a stream link there. You can listen to it for free.
Yep.
So
I've listened to it. Is fantastic. It's about a 5-second delay between what's actually going on, but it's excellent. It's good.
I will tell you this. I had some folks last week because the Florida High game was televised by a station down in Tallahassee. Some folks were trying to listen to us online while they were watching the game, and the two were just totally discombobulated, but they were not happy with the play-by-play guys for the TV station, so they just lived with it. I mean, it was two different games almost, but they said, heck with it, we're listening to our guys.
For the amount of cameras that they used, I was amazed at some of the footage I seen on how good it was.
Yeah, they did a good job now. The quality of the video was pretty sharp now, no question about it.
I thought it would be very home video-ish. But, man, it was good. My hat's off to those if those guys are listening, man. They done a great job, and they were very complimentary to our stadium.
How did you watch it?
I seen some clips somebody had downloaded.
Okay.
And I was like, man, this is great.
Well, the reason I'm asking that because I wondered.
And there were some clips that they put on as some highlights later.
But they cover Tallahassee.
Right.
It was the Tallahassee game of the week.
Yep.
But here they come into the Jackets nest with all the stuff that's going on in the Jackets. I wondered what they were saying about it.
Yep, they thought it was great. He said that the atmosphere. He said it was one of the best atmospheres that they had ever been in.
Good.
And the guy and the officials done a great job of working with them because they kind of had to be in their space a little to get some of the shots that they got. And those officials have gotten to where that white area going down the field, they don't want nobody in it.
Yeah.
Because there's been so many of them hurt running down the field because they're
Makes
not
sense.
watching where they're going. They're watching the play.
Right.
So, man, everybody worked together, and that thing turned out really good. So, a lot of people watched it.
Well, I want to compliment Bryan Davis on his play-by-play.
Absolutely.
Best one you've ever done. Now, I will say this. I'm doing the one tomorrow night. Sorry, Brian. I got tomorrow night.
Oh, Stacy asked me yesterday. She said, "Are you doing a play-by-play tomorrow?" I said, "I couldn't pry that away from Randy if I had a pry bar and he was tied to a chair."
Yep. Yeah, I'm sorry, but the cool thing and what I love about our crew, and I'm sure we've all thought this. There's a lot of interchangeable pieces that are really, really good, and I want to compliment Kasey for the work that he's doing. Man, that doggone stadium. We've got an in-stadium microphone now on the ref. I mean, it sounds awesome. It doesn't look good. It looks good. That's right.
But let me tell you, Kasey, the homework will be tough tomorrow, buddy, because there is no daggum service down there. I don't know why.
Yeah, they're called hot spots. They're called hot spots. We're taking hot spots with us. And the question was asked.
We had trouble last time down there.
I got AT&T hotspots this time.
Okay, good deal.
The question was asked by Kenneth Hurst, are umbrellas allowed in the stadium down there?
I know it's not an art, so I would assume
Probably not.
I wouldn't think so.
Probably not.
Get you a poncho. I was at Walmart earlier. There's hundreds.
Well, and
or was.
Dollar General's got them. I mean, every store's got them right now. But the problem with an umbrella in the stands, all you got to do is move wrong, and you're poking somebody in the eye or something, and you just can't roll the dice.
That's
with
right.
It. Yeah.
All you need is a kid to run into one.
Yeah, that would not be good. One spec. Let's see.
Well, while we were complimenting everybody, let me say this because I guess he had his feelings hurt. He's not here tonight because he's feeling under the weather. But the stats man, Bryce Young,
absolutely.
Man.
I'm gonna tell you, people, y'all don't know if you knew Bryce 10 years ago and you said that guy's gonna be on the radio.
Oh, listen,
he was so closed you couldn't in a public setting you couldn't get a word out of him.
Well, that's like him coming to sit right there.
Right. The fact that he's in front of a camera or behind a mic is astonishing. He has come leaps and bounds over the years of, not only doing our stats, but just being behind the mic.
Yeah, well, he feels at home,
Yeah.
and that's a good thing.
Well,
but I'm with you.
Well, I'm going to throw my 2 cents
The light's
in.
going to go out tomorrow night.
What's that?
No.
Bryce just said on the chat that the light's going to go off for 30 minutes.
Oh, don't.
I hope they paid the light bill.
Hey, it's all LED down there, so
They'll probably turn it red and forget
down
how to
and
change
fire
it
them back up. But my 2 cents on the stats thing is, I tried it a couple times.
It ain't easy.
That is crap. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. My hat's off to Bryce, but and the years that Allen did it.
Alan Cole.
God, he
and
done a
Joey
great job
Holland,
of
same
it.
way. And the thing is, they were watching the game, commenting on the game,
And
keeping up with that mess.
I'm going to tell you, that's tough.
I tried to do it one night, and my right eye got stuck looking down on my left eye, and I
And he hadn't been the same since.
no, and Randy had to slap me to get my eyes straight. And I said, I can't do it anymore.
He was looking at Sunday and Wednesday at the same time. It was just
He was dating a girl and seeing one on the side. My bad. But anyway.
Oh,
what?
good.
But she broke up with him because he kept giving her the side eye. So
It's just,
Welcome to
Hey,
band trips.
felling, hey,
Away
got
game.
kicked in the head, eyes go cross.
get kicked
Falls
by a
in the
mule,
well.
falls down a well to straighten up. Who knows?
Who knows?
What in the heck? Okay, real quick. The Thomas County School Sports Hall of Fame. How cool was that last week with Boo Taylor,
Oh, my God.
Charlie Sr., and Charlie Jr.?
Man, let me tell y'all something. I've got to interview all of them. That's the coolest thing. The first week, Johnny Yerby,
Yep.
and I'm trying to remember all of them now because the list is getting pretty big.
Yep.
But man, I've had such a good time, and every one of them.
But it was Herb
have
Christopher.
Been, Herb Christopher. They've all been so humble and I'm
Honored.
And I was talking to Coach Ward last week, and of course, Coach Ward is the first one that brought it up. He says, "Man, I'm glad I'm still living to be in that." You know? But how cool is it, man?
Oh, man. It's awesome. It's awesome.
Boo Taylor, just as cool a guy, man.
Yep.
And all of them have been. But we've had 2 father sons.
Yep.
How special is that?
And got more coming.
And got more coming. So, that's a cool thing now.
So next Friday, Terry White, legend, George Herring, legend, and we're trying to get in touch with Ms. Ruby Daniels. Ruby was one of the ones that Coach Ward brought up that was a fantastic athlete at Magnolia. That's the plan right now. So 3 more legends that will be going in for the Bainbridge game.
And imagine the Daniels name. I mean,
you listen.
I mean, what do you expect?
Well, later down the road, you're going to have Ray Torrey Newkirk Sr. and Jr. going in at the same time. And you talk about athletes. The Booster Club sold TC ponchos. Paul Prince has plenty available. Go get you one.
Yeah.
And
make sure and support those guys. They do Paul Prince does a great job of supporting us.
Yeah.
Yep.
And our boosters, of course, we all need to be supporting our boosters. They do a lot for our
programs. And I
so.
think he gives a portion of the proceeds from the sales of that thing to the
Paul
program.
Prince,
I believe so.
Paul Prince
That's awesome, man.
is a direct system. So part of the proceeds he makes off of the shirts and stuff that he sells goes right back into the team. And like when you buy, let's say when he had the state championship shirts after we won last year, those state championship shirts you bought from him, part of the proceeds went directly back into the football program. And so when you see like the football fundraisers and stuff, that's him giving back to the football team directly. So go out and support the guys that support us.
Absolutely. Jamie Finch.
Yep. Jamie
Go
Finch,
down there and say, Jamie, hook me up.
Yep.
I promise you, he will.
Located right between, beside Chandler's, in between Chandler's and the Graveyard. If it's a little shopping center, there's got
a little
three
trophy shop right next to him.
Yep, right
Sunbelt.
Sunbelt.
Yeah,
Yep.
Sunbelt right there. So.
George Lassiter, who used to write with the newspaper, asked what the going pay was now for a guy who keeps stats. It's a meal at Loco's, pretty much.
That's good stuff, though, man.
That's good stuff. Now, Loco's, they take care of us.
And a great ball game.
Yep. And you get to watch a good ball game, too. And you get to hang out with Brian. I mean, that's worth something right there.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
That and
That
and $18 will get you a coffee at Starbucks.
Who was that, Mark? Or Ken?
Yeah, he was asking about Coach Connor and Ken Connor. Listen, there are so many names from our past athletically that will be a part of this Hall of Fame. Part of what we've tried to do, and I'm just shooting straight with you, the Magnolia Group, the pre-integration Central, and some of those that just kind of no-brainers. I mean, how can you have a Thomas County School Sports Hall of Fame without the major league, the top Major League Baseball player that you've ever produced, and the Heisman Trophy winner, and Coach Charlie Ward Sr.? I mean, come on. I mean, all of those, though, it's coming. Let's just put it that way. It's coming.
Yeah, it'd be hard to get everybody in one year.
Yeah, or you can't.
I mean,
it's impossible.
We've got to. I'm just glad we've started it.
We had a list literally of about 70 names.
Yep.
And you're going, what? How do you do that? Well, you can't. I mean, you just can't.
And it's no disrespect to any of them.
No.
But
Not at all.
what y'all have done is done a good job of prioritizing the guys that have waited long enough for this to go ahead and get them in. And if they have that son or daughter or whoever, the family member that was along with them, get them in there together, because that takes a special moment and it just elevates it and makes it even more special.
Yep.
And I thought that was what made this class stand out more so than any of the rest of them.
Yep.
Is just the fact that we got so many of those opportunities to get the father and the sons and
Priceless
the family
moment.
members together.
Priceless moment for that family. And you could tell it.
Absolutely.
With the Wards and Boo, he said, well, you know, Coach Ward was my basketball coach. He said, he's been a legend since I was a kid.
Yep.
Yeah, and Lakeisha Esther says the county's been blessed to have so much talent come through, and no question. I mean, it's just remarkable. Okay, it is 8:07, so it's about time, guys, to get out of here. We appreciate you guys watching, and we want to thank Dairy Queen one more time.
Dairy Queen again, Greg and the boys.
Tell them what this was tonight now, the Jamie Majors Blizzard.
This one right here was the chocolate
silk pie, was it?
Silk pie.
Wow.
It was the chocolate silk pie. It was that smooth. I mean, but
pardon me,
man. I just Greg and his staff doing an awesome job down there. Go down there and get you some ice cream.
Go get you some of that.
Yeah,
Get you some of that.
Not to steal a phrase or anything.
It's trademark now. It's $200 every time somebody.
And you
says
got a shirt to prove it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
just
that's
say
right. Thanks.
even though
Stephanie Dennis, my NL
we
corner.
are Nike, by the way.
Nike.
Nike. You got Adidas on over there, Cat is.
We're Nike.
I'm allowed to wear a throwback. Randy had on a Reebok
throwback.
shirt
I
today.
had
I
a
don't want to hear anything.
I had a Reebok shirt on yesterday.
That was back in Burns days.
That was one that Coach Pilcher gave me.
Yep.
And it was blue and white, and he didn't like it because there was no gold anywhere. They had wrote Jackets football on it in white. It was supposed to be written in gold.
I got you.
And of course, the ones that had white, he just
So is that what the radio crew gets?
yeah.
What he didn't like?
He gave me one of those because they're going to throw them away or something.
Here, you guys take those.
Yeah, I was doing the interview with Rogers for Coach's Corner, and he walked in and he went, "Dang, that's a throwback."
Heck yeah.
I thought he was pointing to me.
Was it Weebach or Reebok?
It was Reebok. It is.
I think the football helmet's got the Reebok logos on it.
Devin Bass is wanting me to ask the crew if we think Florida can beat Samford this week. I will defer to the Gator on the panel.
I'm worried about Florida State. They're playing bye week, and it's going to be close.
Well, let me tell you, I was fixing to say, look, guys,
I even brought it up.
I heard this week that we were 8 point. That the off week was 8 point favor. Man, I was like, my gosh.
Yeah, somebody sent me a thing today that said that the Hallmark Channel is going to have the Florida State game on, and it'll be at 8 a.m. so all the kids can get up and watch it.
Jeez, man.
Oh my God,
I tell you, I just hope that both the programs. College football is better when both of them programs are good.
Yeah.
So maybe they can
and I'll
get
say
it
this
rolling.
too. I think you and I both mentally are better when both those programs are good too.
I know I am. You ask my wife.
Casey's sitting back there going, Auburn won. Yeah, we're not talking about who they play, but Auburn won.
Just because it was a high school team.
But I don't know about y'all, but I don't think I've ever seen college football open up with that slate of games.
Oh, my
was
gosh.
fantastic.
Yeah. Sure was.
Yeah. So,
shout out to all the parents, grandparents, and businesses who support the athletes week after week. They make the program successful, no question about it. And by the way, if Mike Norvell or your guy Billy Napier's watching, Sam Brown's over at Georgia Southern. He's available.
Absolutely.
Just saying.
Hey, I say that if you're going to lose and you're going to look bad losing, hey, let's throw Brock Glenn in there and see what he's got.
Listen, the Chromatic kid from Durham Benedict
I've seen him play.
Yeah.
I know what he can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, Florida's starting DJ Lagway this week, so we'll see if that makes a difference for us. But the big deal is it's tough. I mean, it is, and sometimes you get fed up with it. But it's college football. If you didn't have bad moments, you wouldn't appreciate the good moments. I just wish we had more good than bad.
Absolutely.
I'm happy as a Georgia guy.
We didn't ask.
Here's the thing is,
nobody asked me. There you go. Kasey muted me, so there we go.
Thank you.
Please. Hey,
so
I
Lagway,
can tell you though that it's over the past 4 or 5 years, it's been awesome to be a Georgia fan for sure.
Well, heck, all of these programs.
Y'all waited since '80 to showcase it.
It's true.
Now we can't get rid of you. But Kirby Smart doing a great job. You can't take that away.
Well, he's done a fantastic job. So, no question about it.
If he just slow him down a little bit up there.
I don't want to do that. So it's DJ Lagway. Mm-hmm. So when they play FSU, we're going to have DJ Lagway and DJ Ukulele. Is that what that's going to be?
No, he'll never make it that far. If he makes it that far, it's a conspiracy.
Jamie said if he makes it that far, I ain't.
Here's the deal. Now, how do you do this now? Think about it.
Here we go.
Think about it. Okay. Say you paid DJ Ukulele $1 million. Okay?
Okay.
You've paid him $1 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
How can you bench him?
You know how?
I know you can, but the university's probably thinking.
You know how? Let me tell you something.
You can't take the money back.
And I'm not making this as a statement negatively about Mike Norvell. How long do you think that would have lasted if Saban's coach? How long do you think that lasts if Kirby's his coach?
Not long.
Not long.
Not long.
So,
but I think it's different now with them players getting paid.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. But at some point in time, the head coach has to go to protect myself.
Absolutely.
Right.
We are making a change ASAP.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially whenever it's dead in the water.
The ooey gooeys.
No, not the ooey gooey.
Now we've gone ukulele. We've gone ooey gooey.
When he was at Clemson, I called him DJ Ooey Gooey. All right, because I couldn't. I'm sorry, but here's the deal.
I like it.
What's that? An Otis Spunkmeyer cookie?
That's the next blizzard.
At this point, it will not be held in your hand. I can tell you that. But here's the deal. He had people open everywhere, throwing it and hitting them in the hands, and they dropped them all over.
It wasn't all his fault.
It wasn't all on him, but I will tell you, every time that camera went to him, he was about an even kill.
Yep.
And he felt terrible.
Yeah, and you could tell Norvell didn't know what to do.
I mean, the crowd's in there.
We want Brock. We want
Brock. We want, and I mean, that's doesn't happen at Clemson, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you can destroy a kid.
Yeah,
and that's the thing about it. And that's we get so caught up in it. This is high school, college. They're still kids.
Yeah,
they are still kids.
Yep. Unless you're the tight end from
now
Miami.
They're getting paid now.
Yeah. Tell me about it. He's as
He's
old as I am.
He's a grandfather.
He's 29.
Yeah, I think he's been playing for 9 years.
Yeah, he's a 9-year player.
He got a touchdown the other day too against Gators.
There was some on the field the other day. CJ said, "What's that?" I said, "That's his AARP card. He dropped it."
Listen, this is getting deep in here. It's time to get out, folks. Again, see you at the stadium. Bring your headsets. We will be on 88.5 FM inside the stadium if you want to listen. And
it'll be loud.
It should be loud. And again, if you're going to be home, you can tune in on 106.3 FM if you want to listen, or if you want to watch it live stream, whatever works. Help yourself. Guys, Jamie, thank you. As always.
It's been awesome.
Looking forward to it.
Great night. And, hey,
it's 8:15.
Yeah.
I can't wait for tomorrow night. I'm excited to be hard to sleep tonight.
Yep. Especially after this thing. It's a latte.
I didn't dip into that this week. I couldn't. A half one got me.
Bryce said that you were on it last week after you had that coffee.
I was on point, dude. I was on point.
Bryan, thank you for coming, man.
Yes, sir.
Kasey Massey, as always, for everything you do. And everybody watching, we'll be back here next Thursday at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow night, the Jackets and the Dogs. Nothing else quite like it. We'll see you on the radio. Y'all be good.